for all of you guys, if you want to rewatch what we're doing here, you can always go to YouTube because I'm live streaming now. So hello to everyone. I hope you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me well, if you can see me well. I'm going to be very, very thankful for any feedback because this is my first time in my life that I'm live streaming. So you can probably notice that I'm a little bit stressed. Let's put it this way, a little bit stressed. Okay, so basically what we're going to do today, so the thing in front of me is called a V60. We're basically going to brew coffee, and I'm going to introduce you to home brewing, how to use devices, and tell you a little bit more about what they are, how they work, and how to use them. Because the most common issue that I do come across is that people do have quite a lot of equipment at home, but they not necessarily know how to use it. So this is what we're going to cover today. So as I said, this device is called V60, and this device that we're going to do afterwards is called AeroPress. There are two main differences between, well, there's quite a few differences, obviously. The looks, the first one, but the coffee that you brew with these devices is also slightly different. So when it comes to V60, we are very often referred to it as a tea-like coffee. So the texture of it is quite clear, you get quite a crisp cup, and in comparison, it's closer to white wine than a red wine, where this thing, on the other hand, gives you a little bit more solids and is more like red wine. And the main difference comes from the fact that you use completely different filters. So that is a small round filter, that is a big filter, and also that device uses mainly gravity, and the device also uses pressure. So if you've ever come across these two, that's the main difference. So that's going to be, so that's a red wine, that's a white wine, that's the main difference. Also the flavors that they pull out are slightly different, but as we will start brewing, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. So what am I using today? I'm using exactly the same coffee for the two devices, which is Monsoon Estates Ethiopian Dumersu. I hope you like the pronunciation. Please let me know. Because this is the first time I'm doing it, and if you like it, I'm going to do more of it. And that's the whole point of it. So for you guys to learn and for me to educate myself on something new, because we're all under the lockdown, so we might as well enjoy the time together. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to do V60. Actually, no. First of all, I'm going to do AeroPress, simply because I brew it. So that's going to go on the side, and that's going to come to the front line. So as I said, this device is called AeroPress. The way it stands at the moment, so this is what we call invert technique of brewing. And I brew it as well. So you can do it a few different ways when it comes to AeroPress. You can either put everything in, stir it, and then extract it straight away. But I'm a brewer. I like to leave it for about 2.5 minutes for it to do its work on the ground that I'm using. So I'm going to do this one first, this one second. I'm going to talk you through everything I'm doing, and then we're going to straight in jump into comparison, and I hope you will see everything. What I'm going to be also using, it is quite essential, I would say, for brewing V60s, is one of these. So we call them, oh, there we go, perfect background. We call them gooseneck kettles, and simply when it comes to anything conical, so any device like that or a Chemex, what you want to be doing is you want to control the speed of your pour. That's quite important when it comes to any pour overs, because that belongs to a pour over. So the slower you pour, the better it's going to be. So that's why I'm using that. For this one, you can use just regular kettle, and by any means don't feel like you have to get pieces of equipment. I'm going to take you through everything that we do and also give you some alternatives. If you do have devices but you don't have some of them, you will know exactly what to use and how to use them. Okay, so first things first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click my kettle on and get my water on the boil. So be right back. Done. So it doesn't take too long. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to preheat the device. So always you want to have the devices slightly preheated because the coffee will be brewing a lot better if you do it. So I'm going to turn on my scale. I don't need it just yet. I'm going to need it for weighing my coffee. But if you don't have a scale, so as you can see, I'm just using a normal kitchen scale. If you don't have a scale, there's a way. So with this device, it's quite easy because you can only put 250 milliliters in it together with the grind. So it's not that hard. With V60, you kind of do want to have a scale simply because it's harder to say if you've got 260 or 300 mils. But at the end of the day, you can work it out. Then as for measurements, when it comes to the coffee grounds, you can use old school spoon, or you can get one of these. So AeroPress comes with a measurement spoon, so pretty much one should make you around 15 grams of coffee, which is perfect for any, which is perfect as a starting point. So if you're brewing for the first time, 15 grams per 250 milliliters of water, that's a really good starting point for any filter coffee. So my water just clicked, and here's the thing. Unless you've got a kettle that you can set for a certain temperature, when your water is off the boil, leave it. Leave it for about 30 seconds, up to a minute, simply because you don't want to be using boiling hot water for your filters. Coffee brews at about 92 to 96 degrees. This is perfect temperature for coffee to brew. So you don't want a 99 degrees water because that's going to immediately burn your coffee no matter what device you're using. So that clicked. I'm going to pour a little bit in here. So I'll be right back again. I'm not going very, very far, so you can still hear me. I still love you. I haven't gone too far. And that is very hot. I'm going to leave that in a close access. So here we are. A little bit of water in here, so that preheats. So my device is hot already when I'm going to start brewing. And the purpose of it is you don't want to rapidly cool down your water, whether you're brewing, well, regardless what you're brewing, you want that to be quite stable temperature. So now what I'm doing, so I grab, which is a filter, paper filter, and I put it right in here. And very important, again, that applies to all the filters, you do want to pre-soak the filter. Otherwise, it's going to taste of paper. So basically, your coffee is going to taste of paper. So let me just pre-soak it. Let it drip a little. There we are. I'm going to put it here. So that's pre-soaked, that's preheating. Now, I do have two different grinds, and here's another thing. So first, the temperature of water, very essential. Then the grind size. That's one of the most important things when it comes to making any coffee. So for espresso, you have to have certain grind. For V60, you have to have certain grind. For AeroPress, you have to have certain grind. The longer your coffee is exposed to the water, the coarser the grind should be. So simply saying for V60, you're looking for more of a medium grind, where that, because of the speed of extraction and also the fact that you're going to then apply a pressure onto V60, you're going to have a little bit finer grind, almost like espresso. So for example, for cafetiere, you want more of a flaky texture. If you guys want to find any more information, I am uploading regularly now on my website at www.lifefullofbeans.com, all the coffee guides. So you can always refer to them. It's 6-7 simple steps how to do all of these. Or you can simply rewatch this video, but that's probably going to take a while because I am born to talk, so I'm going to be talking quite a lot. You've probably noticed that by now. So anyhow, okay, so I'm opening that. My device is preheated. My filter is ready. There's hot water in here. I'm going to switch on the scale just to kind of give you an idea how to use both of them. So if you use one of these, you want 1 scoop. If you use scale, let's go for about 15 grams. I'm gonna do 15 as well. Normally, because I know myself and I know how I drink, I normally go 17 grams, simply because that's the coffee I prefer. So that's pre-ground for AeroPress. So make sure your coffee is pre-ground to a correct device that you will be using. So my scale is on 0. Now I'm gonna pour 15 grams of coffee. There we are. Maybe a little bit less. Boom. Yeah, nothing happened. No one's seen anything. Okay. So that is my 15 grams. No, it's not. It's 13. I took too much. Do you know what? It's a lot easier to brew it without talking. This is like some serious multitasking, I'm telling you guys. So you can't see it. I will definitely post do a post on what I'm doing at the moment on Instagram, because I basically have 2 cameras facing me, and I've got all this shebang, and I'm making sure nothing happens around. So this is some serious multitasking. And they say the blondes are not smart. I don't know who said that. Anyhow, okay. So now what I'm going to do again, I'm going to power my device. I'm going to add a little bit more hot water into my kettle. There we are. And I'm probably going to have to do another batch of water, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'm going to give it a little tap. So as for the device, as you can see, there's some coffee grounds over here, and that's standing. There's a seal, so nothing should come up. There we go. It's all done. So now, the essential step of any filter brewing is blooming. What blooming is, it's also called degassing. So basically what you do, you just cover the grounds with hot water and allow the gases to be released from the grounds, because coffee is an organic substance, so it will be releasing gases. Think of coffee as if it was a fruit, because technically it comes from a fruit. Coffee is a seed of a cherry, so it will have carbon dioxide coming up from it. Okay. So slowly and very gently, all I'm doing at the moment, I'm just covering my grounds to reach about 50 milliliters of of water. And then you can try it again. But I'm going to be honest, my scale switched off, which is great, because I'm pretty sure it's going to do that for V60. So that's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully not. So I'm going to have to memorize the actual volumes that I'm using, but hey ho. Okay, so once you put about 50 milliliters of water, can be 60, you don't have to be particular, but as little as you can, just cover the grounds and let it set. Let it degas, let it do its job for about 30 seconds. Once the 30 seconds are reached, yes, that's switched off again. I'm not going to be lying to you, am I? Like, I'm not going to be pretending it's working. I don't know why it's dying. It's done it on me a couple of times already, but hey ho, why not? Okay, so now when it comes to AeroPress, you can just kind of go crazy with it. And if you don't have a scale and you do have AeroPress, where you want to be, you pretty much want to be about half a centimeter away from the top. That's going to be a very, very good indicator of how much you've got. Then, as you can see, if I put my, can you see the shakes? Probably not. Anyhow, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little stir. So you want to be stirring very, very fast, very vigorously. What you want to do, you just want to move around those beans and make sure, or ground coffee, and just make sure it's all nicely surrounded by water. It looks so good. You know what's really, really exciting for me at the moment? The fact that I get to drink that stuff. I already had a coffee, 1, 2. I think I had 2, but now because I'm stressed and I can smell coffee, it's gotta be so good. So there you are. 10 seconds or 10 stirs. That's pretty much what people do recommend. I'm just going to rinse that because I'm probably going to use it in a second. And that's about it. So I'm 25 seconds into 38 past. Okay, so that now goes on the side. And that's it. So now you wait. So pre-soak everything, then preheat your device, put your grounds in, bloom it with 50 milliliters of water, then top it up, then stir it, then just leave it for 2.5 minutes, roughly. That's with AeroPress if you're using this technique. If you would be using a regular, let's say, the standard technique it was designed to be used, what you would basically do, you would have one that reversed straight away. You would put your grounds, add your hot water, stir it almost like a full cafetiere, and just press it. So it takes about 30 seconds to make AeroPress using traditional version, but I like to brew, and I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I like to brew. Blame me for that. Okay, so as that's sitting and waiting for us to continue, what I'm going to do now, I am going to preheat my V60 filter. So all I'm going to do now is put my V60 filter inside, and very, very important, for any paper filters, you always want them to be pre-soaked. Otherwise, you will taste the paper, and you don't want that, trust me. And especially if you've got really good quality beans, because that's what I'm hoping you're going to go for. Very, very good quality beans. You want to make sure that all those flavors are not disrupted by the paper, unless you like it. I'm not here to judge. Like, if you like paper, that's fine with me. I don't. Neither is fun. Okay. And also the second thing that this does is it does preheat the whatever vessel you put brewing your coffee into. So I'm just using carafe. Because it looks cool, and obviously I'm going to do like Insta session just after that. I should be doing it now, but I can't focus. I can't even focus on what I'm doing. I haven't even introduced myself. Hi, I'm Kasia, life full of beans. So there you are, which is quite hilarious for me to do. But I'm used to it. I do talking for a living, so I talk, as you probably noticed. Anyhow, okay, so that can go. That is hot. Not burning my hand yet, but you will probably very, very soon. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to very quickly put my water up. Don't worry, I haven't gone anywhere. Do you know what's really cool? I mean, let's put it this way. I'm waiting for my water, and I'm wearing really cool socks to do this. I'm going to be looking at those videos when I'm 50, and I'm going to have really fun times, that's for sure. Anyhow, okay. This is what stress does to me. This is exactly what stressful situations do to me. I just carry on talking. Endless speech. That's what it is. And I also come closer because someone joined. Hello. Hello to all of you that joined. I'm really sorry that I am not pointing out. Hello to all of you that joined. I'm really sorry that I am not pointing out all of you people and saying hello to individuals, but simply because that's already enough multitasking for me. Okay, we're going with AeroPress now. Okay, so this is what you do. This is what you do with AeroPress. My water for V60 is hot. So now I'm using another kettle because why not? So here's the thing. Don't try to flip it into the device like that. Put it on, flip it, saves you the mess. And then you just press it. What you want to do, you basically just want to lean on it and let it slowly be extracted. And with AeroPress, you will know it's ready when you're going to hear the hiss. Hold on, I've got my camera on the side. Well, sorry, not camera, microphone. You will hear the hiss. So I'm going to be quiet for a second. So that, oh, that smells good. So that is basically the AeroPress ready. So as you can see, I can't press it. That's already done. That can go to the sink. And here we are. Oh, magic. Oh, I wish I was doing some pictures now with my camera. I could use some hands, you know. There we go. So that's ready. We're going to compare them as soon as we finish both of them. So that will have a chance to cool down a little. So I've got my V60. I'm doing exactly the same thing as I did with AeroPress. So first of all, I preheated it. Now I'm going to put my coffee in. So 15 grams again. I'm using exactly the same measurements, just different grind. This is my serious face, by the way. Watch it, because it hardly ever happens. Okay, so again, a little bit tab, just to make it a little bit more even. And now I'm going to pour a little bit of hot water, just to make sure that all my grounds are covered. And you can see already started dripping. So now you leave it for another couple of seconds, because you want, again, your coffee to brew. You want those gases to be released. I will probably record a separate video of just making the V60 AeroPress, so you guys can see on the inside what's happening. Okay, so less than 30, but that's okay. And now I'm brewing. So one thing for you to notice is the fact that I'm pouring anti-clockwise. So when it comes to V60, this is actually quite important thing. My filter folded. So when it comes to V60, you always want to be pouring anti-clockwise, and that's one of the main secrets to brewing V60. So if you can see all those ridges that are inside, they are designed for a purpose. It's not just aesthetics. That's not the main reason that it's there. So those ridges do release the gas, so they do release the oxygen, because as you've got coffee going in, there's obviously air coming out of the vessel, and those ridges help the air to escape, and they do not disturb the pour, and also allow water to flow a little bit more evenly. The reason I'm looking at it is to control where my water level is. But what you simply want to do is slowly put about 100 milliliters at a time. So 50 milliliters first, and then twice you just stop it with 100 milliliters, go to 250, and you do it very, very, very slow. And then you can give it a little bit stir, and I'm going to use my clean paddle. Some people stir in the beginning, some people stir at the end. Again, when it comes to brewing coffee, there's very, very few things that you do want to remember. 1 is the temperature, 2 is the grind, 3 is simply the speed of your brewing. These are the most important factors when it comes to brewing the coffee, so it's not like you're going to completely destroy it. If you've got bad grind, no matter what technique you use, it's going to be bad coffee. Simple as that. If you've got bad coffee, no matter what technique or what grind you use, it's going to be bad coffee. So as far as you stick to a decent coffee, correct grind, right water temperature, and do it quite slowly, so don't rush anywhere with it. It's going to take me 25 minutes or half an hour to do it, but simply because I'm talking. But don't rush with it. Enjoy it. Talk to someone. Live stream. Get a little bit more stress in your life. Just like I do. But I did, I think, calm down. Yeah. So now you get to just enjoy this beauty. Now you can pull out your camera, do some Insta shots, or really what I'm looking for is to enjoy the AeroPress, because I haven't had AeroPress in a while, and I really, really like it. It's definitely one of my favorite devices. So I'm really looking forward to it. But first things first, we need to brew the coffee and let you know what's happening. and why is it happening. And so yeah, that's about it. So that is slowly dripping, as you can see. Once that finish dripping and once my water is gone, then it's going to be ready. And now, as for drinking the coffee, because that's obviously the whole purpose of making any of the filters, you always want to give it, I don't know, a minute. Once you brew it, extract it, leave it on the side for a minute. Coffee, when it's super hot, it doesn't taste the same. So you do want to cool it down a little, because this is when you start tasting all those beautiful notes and enjoying your coffee without burning your face. And so yeah, that's pretty cool. Another person joined. Hello. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please, please, please leave me any feedback. Should I do my hair up maybe? I don't know. I look different with my hair up. Anyhow, so my water is nearly done. Yeah. Okay. Last few drops, but I'm gonna put it down the sink. That's very convenient that I've got the sink over here. Okay, so now, I don't know if you will be able to notice. Probably not. Okay, so here's the deal. When it comes to, so this is my AeroPress, this is my V60. And if you would look closer, and I'm definitely going to have to make sure I record a close-up shot of it. If you would look at it, they look completely different straight away. So V60 is very, very clear. It's almost transparent. You can see through, where AeroPress is quite cloudy. And that's the solids that weren't fully stored by the small filter. This had a massive filter, so most of them are gone. So as for the tasters, yes, I will be slurping. see, this is when I should be giving you opinion and telling you how it tastes. It tastes good. I can tell you that much. And I wish coffee shops were open so I can share it with people, and so people can come around and go like, oh my god, this coffee is amazing. Because coffee is amazing. And here's another thing. Coffee should never be bitter. So if you are one of them that think that, oh, I don't like coffee because coffee is bitter. Coffee is bitter when coffee is burned, or if it's badly roasted. Coffee shouldn't be bitter. Coffee should be coffee, but it very often is sweet. If it's lighter roast, it's gonna be more fruity, citrusy, whatever notes you've got, or whatever way it was processed. But coffee should be sweet. Coffee should never make you cringe, and coffee should never make you gag. That's it. That's all I'm going to put it out there. If your coffee is bitter, you're burning your coffee, or the coffee is burnt before you even brew it, so it was roasted, not right. Simple as that. Okay, anyhow, so as for that, as I said, it has bigger texture. It's bigger bolder coffee when it comes to AeroPress, because you apply not only hot water that's going to be extracting your coffee, but also pressure helps to extract even more out of it. That's not Corona. my question is, I know it might be not relevant to coffee, but I've got a question. Do you guys feel like you have to justify any moment that you feel like your throat is scratching at the moment? It's quite crazy. I know we're living in crazy times. Coronavirus is on the spread, but every single time my throat gets dry, and I do talking for a living, so that happens quite a lot. I feel like I have to justify to everyone that it's not Corona. I just didn't have enough water today. Anyhow, going back to the subject of coffee, so that's cloudier, that's richer. It has more solids. It's more interesting. So someone's having a pretty good laugh in there. Yeah, I'm from. Hold on. You're from Instagram. Hello. Nice to see you, and I know exactly who you are. So yeah, anyhow, that's pretty good. That's pretty rich. That's how I would describe the coffee. Now, when it comes to, maybe you'll see it. It's quite clear cup. So when it comes to smell, that straight away smells a little bit more winey, which is correct. Because it's Ethiopian coffee, so it's a natural Ethiopian coffee. What they do is simply they dry the cherry around the bean. So they dry the cherry with the seed inside, so the seed takes on a little bit of fermentation, because it's a fruit on the sun. Like, try to leave a strawberry in the sun, you'll see what happens. And then imagine you're eating it. So obviously the sugars will break down and you will start creating alcohol, but that's a different story. Now, when it comes to this one, it's got a little bit more earthiness to it. That's how I would describe it. The smell is completely different. So that definitely smells more juicy. That definitely smells more darker, something like a chocolatey. I would say something like cherry chocolate. You know when you've got pralines or truffles that have cherry and liqueur inside. So that's more like it. Where this one, yeah, that's different. That's very fruity. And another thing, when it comes to coffees, so hold on, I need to try it. That's juicy. That's nice. So now, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I personally do prefer to use as a device AeroPress, simply because it's a massive sentiment. I've been taking AeroPress everywhere I go, and I always have my coffee on me. So even though I'm doing quite a lot of coffee reviews and quite a lot of coffee travels, I do still like my morning coffee before I even leave my house. So AeroPress is definitely one of my most favorite devices. Now, when it comes to natural coffees, very often, because they're quite rich in fruitiness, so they do have quite a lot of fruity or floral notes, V60 is definitely better to pull them out from the coffee. So that is pretty much like a nice, juicy, delicate coffee. Well, that's what I would have in the morning. And it depends on the coffee that you use, which device is going to be better for it. So, for example, if you've got natural coffee and you're going to put it just like I did in V60 and in AeroPress, one's going to be better than another. On the other hand, if you're using any washed coffee, anything that's got, for example, Colombians that tend to be quite nutty, and or anything from Asia like Papua New Guinea, which is quite chocolatey, they're definitely going to be better on AeroPress, because you will be able to extract more solids out of it and give it more density. Can you imagine chocolate juice? Like, that's literally what a really nice darker roasted coffee in V60 would taste like. I don't know, to some people might be appealing, but when it comes to V60, I like my juicy coffees. So naturals all the way. When it comes to AeroPress, I like darker roasts in general. But anyhow, we're getting to the end of the brewing session. So I hope you understand a little bit more about these devices. Again, if you want to rewatch the whole thing, because there's been quite a lot of talking going on, you can go to YouTube, because it's streaming live, and I'm going to make sure it's uploaded so you can refer to it. And then if you want to read a little bit more about it, just go to the website. I'm posting quite regularly, and I'm now doing all the bits and bobs. So far, there's Chemex, French press. So if you use any of these devices, I will be brewing them together with you, so you have a little bit more insights to it next time. But yeah, that would be about it. V60, remember, it's like white wine. Nice, crisp, and clear cut. AeroPress has more density to it. Whichever's better, the one you like more. So everyone's got preferences. So I'm definitely not here to tell you which you should be using. I would say use them all. So I will excuse you now before my coffee goes cold. But things to remember from this session for you guys is, one, the temperature of water that you are using for your brewing. So make sure water is off boil for at least 30 seconds, ideally a minute, because you want water to be not boiling hot, because it's going to burn your coffee. So then, even if you get the best beans, it's going to burn your coffee. So water temperature is 1, grind size is 2. And then when it comes to the preference on the flavor and on the texture, it's up to you. I hope you enjoyed it, and please let me know whether you're going to jump on Instagram, because I will go on it in a couple of minutes. Please let me know. Give me a feedback, because this is the way I learn, and this is and also tell me what else would you like to know, because these sessions I want to make them a little bit more regular, whether we will be talking about coffee, and I'm hoping there's going to be more presidents jumping on and asking me questions. I mean, as you probably noticed, I do like talking. That video was pretty much scheduled to last for about 15 minutes, maybe 20. I was like, yeah, probably 20. We are 35 minutes in, and it doesn't look like we're slowing down. And I could be talking to you all day. So I'm going to start, because I'm pretty sure you've got life to live, and I need to clear that mess, and I have another blog to finish, and yeah. Anyhow, it was my absolute pleasure to have you around, and I hope I'm going to see you next time. And if there's anything specific that you want to know, you know what to do. Easy. DM me on any social media that I've got. Plenty of them, but I check them all. And yeah, loads of love, and I'll see you next time. And now I'm gonna say goodbye. So this is my mouse. So end stream. There we go. So YouTube, goodbye. See you soon, sooner than later. There we go. Boom. And